think it's only normal that with the loss comes disappointment and being upset, but then again, it's another.
The camp. That is a special moment.
A shocking suspension has rocked the tennis world, as American star Alycia Parks has been indefinitely banned following an alleged cruel and deeply personal insult directed at Alex Eala's family. Welcome back to golf tennis, where the baseline burns and the drama never ends, because this breaking story goes far beyond forehands and backhands. It's about honor, family, and a line crossed in the most heartbreaking way. Official confirmation just hours ago revealed that Parks has been fined $2,000 and suspended indefinitely after comments so cutting they reportedly targeted the one person Alex fights for every day, her mother, a punishment far more severe than the usual penalties for racket abuse or time violations. The decision has sent shockwaves from WTA headquarters in Florida all the way to the Rizal Memorial in Manila, igniting outrage and debate across social media. Meanwhile, as the tennis world reels, Alex has arrived in Manila for a historic moment as the WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open officially begins, with the Princess of Philippine Tennis set for a blockbuster clash against Russia's Alina Kariva. Alongside her, Filipino standouts including Steffi Aludo and Elizabeth Abercay are ready to defend home soil, making this one of the biggest and most emotional updates the sport has seen in recent memory. This severe penalty amounts to a career-altering punishment, and it all traces back to the high-octane, intensely charged first-round match at the Australian Open just days ago between Alex Eala and Alycia Parks. While Parks emerged victorious on the scoreboard, the real battle unfolded off it, as tension hung thick in the air. According to sources close to the situation, the trash talk did not end on the court, with Parks allegedly directing deeply personal remarks at Alex's family, specifically targeting her mother, Ms. Eala. For those who follow Alex's journey closely, her mother is the emotional backbone of the family, and the context makes the alleged comments even more heartbreaking. Mrs. Eala is currently battling a serious illness, which is why she has not been present in the players' box or able to travel to support her daughter in Melbourne. To allegedly weaponize that absence and use a mother's illness as a form of sledging is, frankly, unspeakable. Sources say the remarks caused profound emotional distress not only to Alex, who had to endure them while competing at the highest level, but to her entire family. Imagine a mother watching from a hospital bed or recovery room, unable to protect her child, knowing her own struggle was used as an insult on a global stage. The backlash was immediate and overwhelming, spilling far beyond the court into mainstream media and igniting social platforms, where hashtags like Justice for Alex and Respect in Tennis began trending within hours. The outcry was so loud that governing bodies were forced to act swiftly, sending a clear message about ethical boundaries and sportsmanship, because while trash talk may be part of competitive sport, dragging family and illness into it crosses an unforgivable line. With an indefinite suspension now in place, Parks remains in limbo, her ranking frozen, prize money on hold, and a steep, uncertain path ahead if she ever hopes to earn her way back. The final piece still missing is the respect of the locker room, and all eyes are now on Alycia Parks' camp as the tennis world waits for a statement. Will she apologize? Will she appeal? Or will the silence continue? For now, there has been no response, but for Alex Eala, the greatest revenge has always been success, and she is preparing to deliver it right here in Manila. Shifting away from the negativity, the scene unfolding in the Philippines is nothing short of historic as Alex returns home to a hero's welcome after her heartbreaking Melbourne exit and the controversy that followed. The timing could not be better, as the WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open has officially arrived, marking the first time in history that a WTA-sanctioned women's event has been brought to Filipino soil after decades of ITFs and Davis Cup action. The Rizal Memorial Tennis Center has been completely transformed, with pristine blue hard courts designed to mirror Australian Open conditions, expanded seating, and broadcast quality lighting that reflects just how much organizers anticipated Alex's return and the surge of fans. The atmosphere is electric, humid, loud, and unapologetically Filipino, and for Alex, this tournament means everything. As the number 2 seed and the face plastered across billboards along EDSA, she is the driving force behind soaring ticket sales, but the newly revealed draw promises no easy path. In her opening round of 32 match, Alex will face Russia's Alina Kariva, a dangerous and experienced baseline grinder who reached a career-high ranking of world number 142 in September 2025, owns 6 ITF titles, was a finalist at the WTA 125 in Huzhou, and made her tour-level debut at the WTA 500 in Tokyo. This is a player who thrives at this level and knows how to handle big stages, and what makes the matchup even more intriguing is that these two share history, having crossed paths years ago on the ITF circuit. Their history dates back to the W15 Milia tournament in Spain in 2020, where Alina Kariva defeated a very young Alex Eala, giving the Russian the psychological edge of having already beaten the Filipino star. But that was 2020, and that was Junior Alex. This is 2026 Alex Eala, a Grand Slam junior champion, a top 50 player, and a seasoned professional. Kariva plays a heavy, consistent baseline game built on extending rallies and waiting for errors, fully aware that Alex is coming off an emotionally charged and controversial week in Australia and carrying the immense pressure of performing in front of a home crowd. Her plan will be to frustrate Alex early and try to quiet the roaring Rizal Memorial stands, but Alex holds key advantages: a lethal left-handed game and a forehand that has been clocking higher speeds this season. If she dictates play and feeds off the energy of thousands chanting her name, she has the firepower to blow Kariva off the court. Scheduled for prime time with the entire nation watching, the question is whether Alex can channel the anger from the Parks incident and the love from the Manila crowd into a statement performance we're calling a three-set thriller with Eala emerging on top. While Alex is the headline act, the Philippine Women's Open is also proving that the country is no longer a one-player nation, highlighted by a massive breakout from 17-year-old Steffi Aludo of Zamboanga del Sur, currently studying at Cebu College in Maliban, who made history by becoming the first Filipina to win a WTA match on home soil. In Saturday's qualifying round, Aludo demolished fellow Filipina Angeline Alcala 6-1, 6-0 in a ruthless display that began and ended with blistering forehand winners, sealing a bagel in her first-ever WTA appearance, an ice-cold statement performance. Aludo now advances to face Japan's Sakura Hosogi, an experienced opponent, but with momentum firmly on the Filipina side. If she gets through, she will join Alex Eala in the main draw as attention turns to the rest of the Filipino contingent ready to dive into the deep end. The Philippine Women's Open is throwing Filipino players straight into world-class competition, starting with Elizabeth Abarque facing Japan's Miyu Hantama in a brutally tough draw, as Hantama is a legitimate tour player who made her Australian Open main draw debut in 2024 and plays a flat, fast game that will force Abarque to serve well and disrupt her rhythm in a classic David versus Goliath battle. Rising collegiate standout Kian Amina takes on 22-year-old Russian Tatiana Prozorova, a dangerous opponent with 7 ITF titles and a career-high ranking of 140, meaning Amina will need the match of her life, though home court energy has a way of bending the odds. Another compelling matchup features Tenny Maids against Thailand's Manankaya Saongkeo in a Southeast Asian derby, with the Thai star arriving in red-hot form after reaching the WTA 125 final in Mumbai, setting up a thrilling contest of speed and agility where Maids enters as the underdog but never backs down. Also fighting for a main draw spot is Lorraine Jalarina, currently battling Thailand's Pinar Pipu in the qualifiers, and all eyes are on her push to break through. Stepping back, the contrast of this week in tennis is impossible to ignore. On one side of the world, the sport grapples with the ugliness of the Alycia Parks incident, a reminder of how fragile sportsmanship can be, while here in Manila, the beautiful side of tennis is on full display, a nation rallying behind its athletes, young players like Steffi Aludo getting their first taste of the big stage, and Alex Eala coming home to heal, inspire, and conquer. Photographers and journalists are capturing every angle of this historic moment, from the electric crowds to the cultural significance of the event, documenting infrastructure investment, community impact, and the young players inspired by Alex's journey, showing that this tournament is about far more than scores and statistics, all unfolding under Manila's typically warm and humid conditions that add yet another layer of challenge to the competition. Manila's warm, humid conditions significantly affect play, as heavy air slows the ball through the atmosphere, players sweat more intensely, and dehydration becomes a constant risk if fluids are not carefully managed, while direct sunlight can also make serves and overheads difficult to track. These environmental factors add another layer of complexity to an already demanding sport, often favoring athletes who grew up in similar climates and know how to manage their bodies and rhythms in the heat. For Alex Eala, her extensive training in Spain, where conditions range from scorching dry summers to cool, damp winters, has prepared her for a wide variety of environments, yet there is something uniquely powerful about competing at home. Eating familiar food, sleeping in familiar places, and being surrounded by one's own language and culture, all of which can quietly but meaningfully elevate performance and mental clarity. Beyond pride and atmosphere, the financial stakes are very real, as WTA 125 events offer prize money substantial enough to impact the careers of players outside the top 100, with winners typically earning between $15,000 and $20,000 and meaningful payouts extending across every round. For Filipino players competing on home soil, even a second-round appearance can provide a crucial financial boost to fund future coaching, travel, and tournament entry, which is vital in a sport where expenses such as training, accommodation, racket stringing, and physiotherapy add up quickly. Many players outside the top 50 operate on razor-thin budgets, carefully choosing tournaments based on prize money potential versus travel costs, making every match and ranking point a matter of survival. This reality adds pressure that fans may not always see, and when a player celebrates a first-round win, it is often not just joy from victory, but relief at having secured the resources needed to keep chasing their professional dream. That financial cushion from an early win can sustain a player through the next several weeks of competition, and it highlights just how immense the mental resilience required to survive professional tennis truly is. The non-stop travel, relentless pressure to perform, physical wear and tear, financial uncertainty, and isolation of life on the road create psychological challenges that can overwhelm even the most gifted athletes. Many promising careers fade not because of a lack of talent, but because players struggle to manage the mental and emotional demands of the sport. As a result, sports psychologists have become an essential part of modern tennis, helping players develop coping mechanisms, manage anxiety, sustain motivation, and build confidence under pressure. For Alex Eala, access to this kind of psychological support, whether formal or through trusted mentors, will be critical as she navigates an emotionally charged and high-stakes week. Her ability to compartmentalize, focus on what she can control, and block out external noise may ultimately determine her success, with tools such as meditation, visualization, breathing techniques, and structured pre-match routines playing a key role in centering her mindset. Time and again, tennis has shown that the best players in the world are not always the most naturally gifted, but those who manage their mental game most effectively when the pressure is highest. And as Monday approaches and the main draw begins, the sense of anticipation continues to build. Across Metro Manila, the anticipation is palpable, with sports sections and newspapers dominated by Philippine women's open coverage, radio shows breaking down matchups and predictions, and social media flooded with messages of support for Filipino players as Alex Eala's Instagram following surges, with new fans drawn into her story. The powerful crossover between sports fandom and national pride has transformed this tournament into something far greater than a series of matches. This is an event, one that transcends sport to become about identity, representation, history, and possibility, a nation seeing itself reflected on a global stage and believing in what it sees. At the center of it all stands Alex Eala, carrying the weight of expectation while being buoyed by an ocean of support, a moment she has trained for her entire life, not for a single tournament, but for the chance to represent her country at the highest level, honor her family's sacrifices, inspire the next generation, and prove that Filipino athletes belong on the world stage. We will be covering the Philippine Women's Open from start to finish, bringing you updates on every Alex Eala match, every upset, and every twist in the developing Alycia Parks story, and we want to hear from you. Was Parks' suspension fair, too harsh, or not harsh enough? And where do you draw the line between trash talk and harassment? Drop your predictions for Alex Eala versus Alina Kariva. Will she get her revenge for that 2020 loss? If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button, share this with every tennis fan you know, and subscribe to Tennis for your courtside pass to the world of tennis. Stay passionate, keep your eye on the ball, and we'll see you in the next one.
Sobrang di ko pa mapaniwala. Maraming salamat sa suporta. Sana patuloy yung suporta niyo sa akin.
The cap. And it's a special one.